What is going on, everyone? We are back with another HellaDepraved October 2022 track. Top 50 most evil songs, as according to Kerrang.
Yeah. Whatever.
However it's pronounced. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are
HellaDepraved.
All right, so the next song up is 9 Inch Nails' Piggy.
All right.
I have heard this song.
Right.
I don't remember the words to it, but I have definitely heard this song.
Right.
We chose a live version as to avoid
Copyright issues.
copyright blocks.
Right.
Because for whatever reason, rock bands seem to be harder to get on fucking YouTube than hip hop artists.
That's true.
In terms of reactions, especially classic rock bands. Now, I don't know if 9 Inch Nails has been around long enough to be considered classic, but I'm pretty sure
Oh, they've been around long enough.
they have been.
Yeah. I mean, it's not technically quote-unquote classic rock, but it's the same businesses that block it. So, yeah.
Right. I am
me.
super excited for this, though.
I love 9 Inch Nails.
Basically, the way we're going to do this and how we've done every one so far and how we'll continue to do them is we're going to listen to the song, break down the lyrics as we listen to the song, and then we're going to read the about of the song from Genius, and then we're going to proceed to go back to Kerrang's list and read their reasoning why it's on the list.
Right.
After that, we will decide if we feel it should have been on the list, and whether it does or not, if we feel it has a spooky enough vibe to be on our Halloween playlist.
Right. From what I remember of this one, no, but we'll see.
So, we're going to react to this. If you guys have already seen it, if not, click the link in the description below. Hop on over to all the things. Come on back with that because we're 9 Inch Nails. Dear God.
We are 9 Inch Nails fans.
Comedy reaction, comedy breakdown, commentary channel, something like that.
Right.
It is time to slash it up and break it down. This is 9 Inch Nails Piggy live from the 9 Inch Nails Japan tour.
Oh, cool. But it's in Tampa.
Oh. Then I don't know what the JA part of it is.
Ninja tour.
Sure. Maybe it was 9 Inch Nails and Jane's Addiction.
Possible. Still fun little play there.
Right.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Hey, Piggy. Yeah, you. Hey, Piggy, Piggy. All of my fears came true. Black and blue, well broken bones. You left me here out all alone. My little piggy needed something new. And nothing can stop me now, 'cause I don't care anymore. And nothing can stop me now, 'cause I just don't care. And nothing can stop me now, I don't care anymore. And nothing can stop me now, 'cause I just don't care. No.
I do not envy him playing in Tampa. It's obviously sweltering.
He looks nothing like I remember him. And this was almost 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was still 10 years after.
Or over 10 years
probably.
ago. I'm sorry. Because
Yeah.
this was 2009, 14 years
Right.
ago. Which was, like you were saying, it's still 10 to 15
It's
years
still,
after
yeah.
I had last seen him.
Right.
Him. Not heard him.
Right.
Seen him.
Oh, they put on a great concert. I saw them around this time, around 09.
My only bummed feeling about this is you could definitely tell this is later in the set. He is already sweating his ass
Well, but
off.
that's what I was saying.
Kind of exhausted.
In Tampa, that's what sucks. It would be humid and hot as hell there, honestly, and this is in May. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I don't envy him
Not at all.
that. Honestly, for how unsteady the camera work is. The acoustic properties of wherever this is are not terrible for a live performance.
Right. All right, going over the lyrics on Genius. Hey pig, yeah you, hey pig, piggy, pig, pig, pig. All of my fears came true, black and blue and broken bones. You left me here, I'm all alone, my little piggy needed something new. Nothing can stop me now because I don't care anymore, nothing can stop me now because I don't care, nothing can stop me now, I don't care anymore, nothing can stop me now, I don't care.
Right.
Before looking at the annotations, I feel like this is a song about someone who has been unlawfully, unrightfully beaten by police.
It does sound like that, does it not? Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Also, the black and blue are the colors of the Force.
Right.
Thin blue line and all that.
Richard Patrick of Filter, who was the guitarist for Nine Inch Nails from 83 to 93, stated in an interview that his nickname in the band was Piggy. He was planning on working on his own music, and the writing of this song ultimately contributed to him leaving the band. In the story of the album, the protagonist has recently gone through a breakup with his lover, and the previous track, Mr. Self-Destruct, was the entry of all the bad thoughts that would fuel the madness, sex obsession, and drug addiction later on in the album. This track is his lament on the breakup. We were wrong.
Okay.
If Mr. Self-Destruct never entered the protagonist's mind, the protagonist would have probably took the breakup pretty well, but now he's pretty messed up.
Okay.
Trent talked about... Okay, now the Nothing Can Stop Me Now section of it. Trent talked about this line in an interview very succinctly. I'm saying if I don't care, you can't affect me. Following the interpretation that the song is a retaliation to what Trent felt as betrayal when he discovered that Richard Patrick was planning on starting a new band, this line could be seen as Trent's mantra to severing ties, coalescing loneliness and strength into a single formula. Essentially, the song deals less with the gossipy TMZ-like dispute and backlash and more elementary, with becoming further confined and secluded from the world and from his peers. This could be Trent acknowledging that he's become isolated, distancing himself from a friend, all the while getting comfort from that isolation. One could wonder if this is an empowering message exhibiting growth from attrition, or rather a dismissive reaction to feeling offended, or maybe a weird mixture of both.
Yeah, but okay, so if you're talking about nothing can stop me now because I don't care anymore, honestly, it's a freeing statement. Whether freedom is good is interpreted by the person saying the statement, you know? And that could mean you're not here, so I'm going to go off the rails, if we're interpreting it in a sort of negative where they, go down spiraling, because, I mean, that is what album this is on,
right.
Into all their addictions, or possible ones they didn't have before. Or, you know, a lot of people will say this type of mantra after a bad breakup in order to release all that baggage, and that can lead them to go on and do good things for themselves. So, I don't know. I think the freedom from someone, I don't care about you anymore, you are nothing to me, can be just freeing. I don't know that I necessarily agree with the whole, like, isolating statement, that whole, like, psyche evaluation in there versus just what the statement is supposed to mean, if that makes sense. Okay.
Nothing's turning out. What am I supposed to do? I've lost my shit. Nothing can stop me now. I don't care anymore. Nothing can stop me now, 'cause I just don't care. No.
say, I'm glad they're allowing him to continue singing with how determined they are to rub his sweat all over any part of them that they possibly can. But, like, that's the part of fans that I just don't understand.
So, the funny thing is, you and I were almost on the exact same wavelength there. I paused this specifically to note that I don't care how famous you are. You could be Michael Jackson coming back from the grave.
Right.
If I'm in the middle of Tampa, in the middle of fucking, or beginning of May, and it's hot as fuck, I don't want you sweating on me.
Right. Well, and also he was under spotlights and everything
Yeah.
like that. But they're also very closely packed in this crowd anyway, which, by the way, most Nine Inch Nails concerts are. Like, they're fantastic live. If you get a chance, go see them. But I'm the same as you. Like, so we definitely know somebody.
I don't even like having our sweat on each other.
Right. We definitely know somebody who was ecstatic to get a famous person's sweat on her. Right?
She didn't even want to change her shirt.
I know. Came, told us the whole night probably did come. But I have to say, like, you know, it was hot as hell in Chicago for Riot Fest when we were there. And even first meeting Aviva, the two of us kind of gave each other the, like, air hug almost, because both of us were dying with how hot it was. And honestly, meeting someone that I've spoken to before meant more to me than meeting, like, Trent, for example, right? Although I would love to meet him, but I still didn't want to keep her sweat.
Right.
So, yeah, it's his bodyguards are just like, come on.
Okay. 100% want to give props. He just left the fucking mic in the crowd. Mm-hmm. He's like, you sing.
Right.
I'm going to go up
I'm
here.
gonna go back up here to my other
and
mic.
rest for a second.
And they actually did decently in terms of timing and shit. Like, that's fun.
That's awesome.
His bodyguards were not thrilled.
No. Are they ever?
No, but also I would imagine that our whole sweat conversation kind of plays into it. It's goddamn hot, and they're used to him getting mugged, but it's muggy, and they're swamped, and all of the nastiness that implies. You know, it's just worse than normal.
Nothing can stop me now. Nothing can stop me now. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can. Nothing can.
So, I mean, we kind of know how this applies to his life, but it could apply to anyone's life, minus the Piggy part, in terms of losing that person that stabilizes you. Because it's just a descent. And while you can use the statement as freedom, it's obvious when he says, I lost my shit because of you, that he didn't. He used the freedom to unfortunately self-destruct. But that is what this entire album's about, the downward spiral. So, I get it. I love how many mics he has set up on stage, like over the keyboard, the one he left in the crowd, so on and so forth. I think that's fun. And his voice and their music get to me every single time. To me, it's like a hot toddy or like slow gin. They're just, I don't know. They always have sort of a slower pace, I feel like. Do you know what I mean? Just sort of a, like it lures you in kind of tone to their music.
Right. All right, I absolutely loved the performance. As with all live performances, it would definitely have been even better to be there.
Right.
I'm not one to typically listen to live.
Yeah, the
from
audio is
home.
always sort of, yeah.
So we're gonna go into the about,
Okay.
and this is set in several steps that others have not been. There's fun facts and things in this
Okay.
to make this interesting, I'm sure. All right, so starting off, Piggy is the second track from the Nine Inch Nails' 1994 album, The Downward Spiral. The song was released as promotional-only single, and as such, did not receive a Halo number. Source of the title, Richard Patrick from the band Filter, was a guitarist in the Nine Inch Nails from 1989 to 93. During an interview, he states his nickname on the band was Piggy. Trent was apparently angry with Richard because he sensed that he wanted to concentrate more on his own music. Brian Leesgang, who was in Nine Inch Nails at this time, informed Richard that the song was being written and was not flattering. This contributed to Richard leaving. Fun facts, it is one of many songs to include the phrase, "Nothing can stop me now." The drum solo featured in the last half of the song is actually performed by Trent Reznor himself and is his only live drum performance with Nine Inch Nails. Not so fun fact. I mean, I find this one fun.
Right.
Like the rest of the album and Broken, Piggy was written at 10050 Cielo Drive, the site Sharon Tate's murder by the Manson family in 1969. The house was converted into a recording studio that Reznor called Les Pig, referencing when Susan Atkins wrote Pig in Tate's blood on the front door of the house. The word pig itself referenced the Beatles song Piggies.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of reasons for the Piggy. Yeah. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is an unflattering song. Like, I feel like maybe I was taken in the wrong... You know? I mean, like, when one person, like, the person who's not writing the song goes and tells the person that it's supposedly about, there's going to be a miscommunication of some kind, right?
Well, I think if he goes to Pig and says, "Hey, this song's being written about you," it's not flattering.
Right.
I don't think, even though I understand why, that you immediately should think it's unflattering.
Right.
Which I think is the problem. It's like
It's not
the
black
Twitter.
and white.
It's the Twitter conundrum of today, where you go on Twitter and you say, "I like waffles," and somebody comes along and goes, "Oh, so you hate pancakes?"
Right.
No, I never said anything about pancakes.
Pancakes.
That's a whole other fucking sentence.
I feel like
All I said was, "I love waffles."
I feel like you could say that this is an unflattering song, but not towards Pig.
I
mean,
feel
it's talking about Trent feeling lost without Piggy, and that his leaving was the catalyst for
his
Trent's
inevitable leaving.
would
become the catalyst.
Trent's down spiral. Like, I don't feel like the song is unflattering towards Pig. I mean, like, to me, it's like Pig is actually being flattered because he was the one that was able to keep Trent stable. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think it's anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, we skipped number 27. I usually say that at the beginning.
Right.
I forgot to this time.
Well, that's a title and a half.
27 was the band was Carcass, and the song is called "Cadaveric Incubator of Endoparasites."
Fun.
All right, Nine Inch Nails' Piggy. Despite appearing on the Downwards, this is why it's on the list, by the way, from Kerrang. Despite appearing on the Downward Spiral, an album chronicling the destruction of man, Piggy isn't necessarily evil in and of itself, and why is it on the list?
Right.
It's the context in which the song was created that makes it truly unsettling. In 1992, Trent Reznor scrapped his original plan to record the follow-up to Nine Inch Nails' debut, Pretty Hate Machine, in New Orleans, decamping instead to 10050 Cielo Drive in Los Angeles, Benedict Canyon. It was here in 1969 that actress Sharon Tate, pregnant wife of director Roman Polanski, and 4 others were brutally murdered by the Charles Manson family. Although Trent suggests he only discovered the address's grisly history after he had decided to record there, claiming it was chosen for the suitability of the space, he subsequently read up on the incident, suggesting the Tate house didn't feel terrifying as much as sad. Despite the sense of melancholy, Trent would use it to record 1992's Broken EP, The Downward Spiral, and Marilyn Manson's debut album, Portrait of an American Family, which Trent produced.
Right.
The song's title has been the subject of speculation. Former live guitarist Richard Patrick, who would later form the band Filter, had suggested he was once given the nickname Piggy, while the Beatles' song Piggies was said to have had considerable influence on Charles Manson. Despite Trent redubbing the address Le Pig, a reference to the word that was written in blood on the front door by the murderers, and the Downward Spiral also featured a song called March of the Pigs, Trent denies either was directly related to what had taken place at the site of their makeshift studio. In a sobering postscript, Trent ended up meeting Sharon Tate's sister. She asked him about whether he thought he was exploiting her sister's death. An encounter Trent admits caused him to break down, having suddenly seen things from her perspective.
Which is what I was talking about in one of our last things. Now, I don't know. It seems like that the house has to be used again at some point. You know what I mean? Or you got to take it down. So,
right.
If it's appropriate for a recording studio, I could understand using it. And if he said that what he was writing about was not about Charles Manson, so be it. You know? I don't know. Again, like, they pointed out that the song is not in and of itself evil. This is somebody's, you know, limit buddy being taken away.
I'm really growing to have a distrust in people's idea of why songs should be on lists.
Right.
Because here's the thing.
This is not just with this.
I also get annoyed that artists don't explain songs for people. Like, if a lot of people came to you and was like, hey, what is this song about?
Right.
Because obviously it has been interpreted, again, like the last one we did,
in multiple
different ways. But from my understanding, Kerrang's list is only a year old.
Right.
Whereas this
Genius,
I don't know how long this has been annotated in here.
Right.
But in the About section, nowhere in the annotations does it actually say 100% Trent said that this song is about. So that tells me he's never explained what the song is actually about, which is, you know, it's fine. It's up to him. But I wish artists would, so people had a full idea of what was going on.
And they just didn't dig in far enough.
Right.
You never know.
Here's the thing. If I had to guess, one, it had absolutely nothing to do with the Sharon Tate situation.
That doesn't sound like it.
Legit.
Or Marilyn Manson and Charles Manson and all the tie-ins that they brought in with,
From reading the lyrics and listening to it, it really does sound like,
his friend,
for all intents and purposes, a breakup song. He's breaking up with his friend.
Yeah, well, his friend broke up with him is kind of like, you left me here, I'm all alone. So, yeah, his friend left him. Yeah.
Right. Which is not evil.
No, and it's even if he has now fucked up and spiraled, it's still not evil. It's humanity. It's what we do in depression.
I will give Kerrang props, because they admitted
that this song
song is on the list specifically because of all the mystery
But then
surrounding it.
wouldn't they put like the whole album plus Broken on the list, because all of them were produced at the Tate murder site?
Right. At the end of the day, stop using outside sources as a reason for it to be evil.
Right. If you say it's the list of 50 evilest songs, like Ghost Ritual made perfect sense. It is a sacrificial ritual he's describing.
Right.
You know, I mean, several of these have made sense because the song itself could be interpreted as evil. Yeah.
Like, completely made up, not starting rumors. Never even heard this anywhere. Literally just made it up in my head.
Right.
It would be like the lady who wrote the song that never ends for the Lamb Chop show.
Oh, dear God. That is evil.
Going on and murdering somebody. And then that song making this list.
Because
she murdered somebody.
Because she ended up being... Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make the song evil.
Right. Well, honestly...
Stop it.
It's exactly like we were talking about with the song that Charles Manson wrote. He was evil. The song was not.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, it's not even
There's
making
our rant.
the Halloween playlist. It's a great song, though. Should be on everybody's actual playlist.
I love 9 Inch Nails, yeah.
But I also feel like 9 Inch Nails, majority of their stuff should be on everybody's playlist.
Right. This one is not on my playlist, and honestly, it's the repetitiveness.
Right.
But I love Trent's voice. And like I said, to me, if I'm having a bad day or I just need to zone out or something, 9 Inch Nails does it for me, because it is like having a relaxing hot toddy to me at the end of the day.
Well, and 9 Inch Nails is one of those bands, to my knowledge and what I've heard. I will sit here and not lie. I won't lie to you. I've not heard every single thing they've ever done.
Right.
Okay. But to my understanding, at least from what I've heard, they don't have a bad song.
No, they don't disappoint. Yeah.
I've never heard a bad song from 9 Inch Nails.
There are definitely some that I like more, but yeah, there's not, like, I can just put on the albums and be like, play, instead of having to make a 9 Inch Nails playlist of stuff that I pick. Yeah.
Right. All right, so that is going to do it for this one. Again, this was number
20-something?
28, 26, number 26.
All right.
We will be skipping 25 because it's Cannibal's Corpse, and I hate that band. 24 is the next one we are going to be doing, and it's Jane's Addiction.
All right.
So, if you guys liked the video, slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, comment down below. What did you think of 9 Inch Nails' Piggy?
You probably loved it, but tell us in the context of if you think that we are correct that it is neither evil nor spooky season music.
Right. Also, comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see reacted to. Check the description below for all the things.
Push our buttons. Come join us on our other social media platforms, mostly Twitter if you want a quicker response.
We love you guys. Thank you all for watching. Cannot wait to see you depraved people later.
I need a smoke.